While you're here, though, I'd love to get your thoughts on another question for our segment, Molten Metrics. What data are you collecting or using that maybe a lot of people aren't utilizing? It's that best kept secret in higher education.
Oh, well, gosh, if I had a magic bullet, that would um but no, I think that my answer to that is not that I'm collecting anything particularly innovative, but just that we're trying to leverage information that's sort of hidden in plain sight. And so your prospective students vote with their they vote with their feet, right? In terms of where do they come visit, and they vote with their mouse in terms of where do they click, or their finger as far as where do they tap on their smartphone. And that behavioral data is a really rich repository that tells you kind of where they are in any moment. So figuring out how to operationalize that is a big piece that I think we're still working on. We're far from expert at that. The other thing is that those same kinds of signals exist in other systems. So, for example, Gettysburg uses Campus ESP for parent communications. And every night, Campus ESP tells us these are the parents who've been most engaged recently. And they give us kind of a promoter score of, gosh, these are the folks that we feel like are really involved in their students' Gettysburg journey at the moment. So we don't want to leave that in Campus ESP. We want to bring that in and combine it with that slate behavioral data, because together they give us a more crystallized lens of where the family is. And so that would be my Molten Metrics suggestion: is take what you've already got and think creatively about how to combine it in new ways.
Yeah, I love that. And the family aspect also is easy to overlook. Again,
Mhm.
I can't name check the two podcasts. I remember listening to recently, one of them was talking about a parent portal. I'm just like, oh yeah, you're kind of starting to see the trends of parents becoming more engaged in a digital slate portal. But also there
Mhm.
was one that was like a purchase catalog, and like again, the folks that were likely to yield, you were seeing the parents actively engaging in this kind of emailed virtual catalog, buying the sweaters, buying the shirts for their kids, for themselves. And it's just like, oh, okay, we're getting these really interesting, nuanced data that we can use to
Yeah.
inform we understand students and engage with them.
And
But
and absolutely. I mean, we know that families are a significant part of the journey, right? And my son is a senior, and I think about, on the one hand, our family's experience with his college search was 4 years ago, and it feels like could be 4 centuries ago because things have changed so much. I don't know how relevant it is, but what I do know is how much it impacted my entire family, and how much we put our time and energy and financial resources into supporting him in making the best decision that he could make.
yeah, I mean, I think again, all of the like surveys and whatnot, that I mean, there's always been that strong trend of parents becoming more involved in the process as it gets more expensive, as it just the shift in kind of the parent student dynamics change. And of course, COVID pandemic vastly accelerated that.
Oh, it did.
For yeah, we don't have a whole another hour to talk about that, but if it's that's a lot of data that if you're not necessarily tracking or ingesting or looking at in a way to help inform your understanding of the student, engagement of the student, that's a big missed opportunity. Um,
Absolutely. Yep.
Huge shout out to all of that really interesting behavioral contextual information that you either have or can start getting.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but of course, layer that on with everything else you're doing. So
Well, there's that.
yeah. But so many great takeaways there in that segment and previous questions. Thank you for sharing that with us. Before we wrap up, though,